Have you ever felt so overwhelmed where you feel like your mind is racing, your body is constantly on edge, even when nothing seems wrong? I feel like we've all experienced this a point in our lives, whether it comes from work, whether it comes from school, or just everyday life. We've all been in this situation. So today we'll be discussing what stress and anxiety is, what causes them, and how they can affect our daily lives. So, as somebody that's balancing school, being a mother, and everyday responsibilities, this topic is something that I can relate to and find pretty interesting, honestly. For example, whether I have a busy week, I know that I have a lot of assignments coming due, or there's a lot going on at home. I've noticed how easily I can become overwhelmed, how mentally draining it can be, or how frustrating it can be when all these things kind of stack up on top of each other, which made this topic a little bit more interesting for me because I've always been that type of person that wants to know the reason behind or the reason why behind things. So learning about this topic was pretty good experience for me. So first, let's start off with what stress and anxiety are. So stress is the body's natural response to pressure and demands. So for stress, it can come from major things like deadlines or responsibilities, major life changes. But anxiety, on the other hand, is more of an ongoing feeling of either worry or fear, and it's something that doesn't really go away. It's there even when there isn't an immediate problem. It's sort of like a lingering feeling. So according to the National Institution of Mental Health, so stress is a normal reaction to challenges, while anxiety involves a more persistent feeling of worry that can start affecting our daily function. So now that we kind of understand a little bit about them, let's look at what causes them. So there's a lot of common causes for stress and anxiety, as you guys may know. But some of these can include school or work pressure, financial concerns, relationship issues, or even major life changes or transitions, sort of like moving, starting college, or becoming a parent. And social media can also play a role, especially with constant comparison and information overload. But so, according to the CDC, or the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, it reports that some of the most common sources of stress include work, demands, personal relationships, and major life changes. So all of these factors can build up over time and start to impact how we feel mentally and physically, and that leads into how stress and anxiety affect our everyday lives. So physically, stress and anxiety can cause things like headaches, it can cause fatigue, feeling, it can cause trouble sleeping as well. And emotionally, they can cause you to be irritable, feeling of overwhelmed, or even honestly burnout. Mentally, they can make it harder for us to focus, to concentrate, or stay motivated. These effects just don't stay internal either. They can really impact relationships, school performances, and overall well-being. So understanding these effects is important because it helps us recognize how common and impactful stress and anxiety really are. But as Hans Selye, a pioneer in stress research, once said, it's not stress that kills us, it's our reaction to it, which highlights how important it is to understand how stress and anxiety can shape how we experience them in our everyday lives. Thank you.